Last season, the Milford baseball team had their share of ups and downs. They used a big 6-game winning streak in the second half of the season to ensure themselves a spot in the playoffs, but then lost their final 3 games of the regular season and then dropped their first-round playoff matchup to the number 3 seeded Nauset High School. As the team gears up for the upcoming 2015 season, head coach Paul Pellegrini reflected on how the previous year unfolded for his squad.
I think part of our problem, I believe, was from the year before we retired 9 starters. So last year's team was a completely different team. A lot of kids that really didn't play that much. We had a rough beginning, rough get-go at the beginning, and then we started getting it together. We started hitting the ball better. We started pitching better baseball, and went on a nice little streak. And that's kind of really what high school sports, actually most sports, are all about. So we did what we needed to get done to get to the playoffs, and it was a good job, especially by the seniors from last year's squad.
While offensively the team remains largely intact from a season ago, Coach Pellegrini says the most significant turnover on the team will be in its starting rotation.
The biggest one's probably going to be the pitching. We lost 9 out of 10 wins to graduation. But we do have guys in place that I feel will be able to pick up the slack pitching-wise. Other than that, I think we're going to be better defensively. We're going to be better offensively. We return number 2, 3, 4 in our lineup, which is key for for a returning baseball team. So I'm excited about that. I think the good thing is we have a good group in the senior class for leadership, but we also have a good group of young guys too. So I'm really happy with what I've seen, especially the first couple days.
Those middle-of-the-order bats for this season are seniors Jeff Basazzi and Drew Wild, as well as sophomore standout Blake Hill.
I'm going to be asking for a lot from those guys. I mean, they're going to be, the 2 of those guys, Basazzi and Wild, will be our leaders this year. And for Blake, he did unbelievable. Step right in as a freshman. I'm sure you've seen he's not exactly built like a freshman. He's a very good athlete. He's a very good all-around baseball player. So I'm looking for a lot from him on the mound also.
Jeff Basazzi will have plenty of responsibilities on the team this year, serving as one of the captains as well as taking on the duties of starting catcher.
Responsibility for that is just like keeping the pitchers in line, make sure they're hitting their spots, in-game adjustments mostly, and definitely showing what we can do out on the field. As a captain, you just gotta take responsibility for where the team's going, how we're playing. Just all kind of falls on the captains. Seniors will definitely mold together well. We've played together for a long time. It'll be good. We'll get some new kids pitching. We'll be. I think we'll have a good playoff push.
The other team captain for this year's Scarlet Hawks will be Drew Wild, who, along with several other players on the team, is looking to make the quick transition from the hockey season.
Our body's still in that hockey mode, but it's a quick transition. We're used to it. We do it year in, year out, so it's nothing too bad. And before you know it, we'll be fine. A week in here and we'll be fine. Last year, we didn't have much experience because the class before that played a lot. So it was like a bunch of guys that didn't really play as much. So it was a little bit learning for them. But this year, our team got a lot of kids that are coming back that have played. So we have experience, and they've been in big situations. So I think we'll be fine in that aspect of the game.
Expectations are high as always for Milford baseball, and with good reason. The team currently holds a streak of consecutive postseason appearances that spans nearly 4 decades.
Definitely keep the streak alive. 37 years, going for it. This will be the 37th year. I think the seniors feel a little bit of pressure. They don't want to be the class to break it, but I think we'll be there. We'll definitely be there and come May or June, whenever we start.
As for the state of the pitching staff, Drew gives us his best scouting report on which arms will be shouldering the load as the season gets started.
Alex Croto, who pitched, he had a couple innings last year. Griffin, who was on the hockey team, he'll get a lot of innings this year. He pitched last year. Tommy Thomas will get some innings this year. And there's a bunch of other guys that we'll find out in this week that will throw for us throughout the year, and I think we'll be fine in that aspect of it too.
Alex had a pretty good year for the Legion team, coming off the bench and in a setup role, did a great job. Then Griffin Lynch was just outstanding at the senior roof level. Griffin's just going to throw strikes. He's got 3 pitches. He's not overpowering, but the name of the game in high school is to throw the ball over the plate and be effective with your off-speed pitches. Alex, I expect the same. He's got a natural slide to his fastball. If he gets a little bit better control, he's going to be very effective. So we return Blake again on the mound. We have a couple nice juniors. And Brian Ireland, he's a pretty good athlete. I expect him to be stepping up and playing a pretty big role in our team.
Coach Pellegrini knows league competition will be stiff this year, but that does not shake the confidence he has that the Scarlet Hawks can get the job done.
Overall, the Hockomock, the Midwalk had very good teams. You had Leominster, you had Algonquin, but this league appears to have more of those. So as opposed to having only 5-6 teams in the league, we now have 12 teams in the league. You know, the upper division. You're playing big schools: Franklin, North Attleboro. You know the story. King Philip. So it's every game seems like a playoff game you're in the Hockomock, and especially being a league game as opposed to a non-league game. Sometimes you're really into it and you seem to take it a little bit more seriously. So I look for us to be very competitive this year. So. I think we have a more baseball-oriented team this year, which is I'm very excited about. We got a mix of everything: defense, offense, pitching. We can run. This team's going to be fun to watch, I believe. So.
Hey everybody, this is Tim Coette. Make sure you check out full episodes of the Milford Informer on Milford TV. New episodes air every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. and then re-air frequently over the course of the weekend. Milford TV can be found on Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 38. And if you live in the Milford area and have an idea for a news story, you can contact us at news@milfordtv.net.